Oh.
Yeah, something sticks in your craw and you get excited about it. And that's always good. It's always nice to have a spark of, I don't know, creativity, energy, whatever.
So much so that the flies have been attracted to you this week, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, I see that. Yes.
You put them on yourself or me? I can't see because it's smaller.
He put them on himself this week just for one day, but well, maybe like 25 seconds before I said something. But
the thing with it is it's because it Discord ranks or does it based on name. So, or it's alphabetical.
Right. So I liked how John didn't even switch it back. The animated flies naturally gravitated back towards you because of the smell. That was the computer had nothing to do with it. Somehow it
temporarily confused. Yeah.
It overrode the system because of yours. That's impressive. You know what? I doff my cap to you, sir.
All right. Well. So John's got 3 printers working, 3.5. That's really cool.
Yes.
Kirk, what? Other than a chicken lap dance, what do you got going on?
Wow, the chicken lap dance. I subjected that while bartending one night. I interrupted a Beatles song that a guy was loving to play the chicken dance just to kind of annoy him. And it was so fun to just the emotional roller coaster of enjoying the Beatles to what? You interrupted the Beatles with the chicken dance to back to Let It Be was just hilarious. It was fun to sort of, I don't want to say puppet master, but kinda. You know
I mean I've heard some stories about your shenanigans with the control of the music at the bar, and it may not have been the best choice.
It's kind of, you can set a mood and you can kind of annoy. It's fun. It's kind of, all right, we're going to play some. Oh, you know what? These people look like they're from the 90s, so they'd like some Real Big Fish. You know what I mean? When was the last time you heard Real Big, like some ska? It takes them back. But anyway, it's fun. So have a chicken lap dance. It's healthier than a cow lap dance. It's less crushing. But no, what I want to talk about, have you been the Winter Olympics? I thought they were over, but they've really gotten out of hand with this whole Russia invading. I thought that event was uncalled for, right? I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
The bobsledding makes sense, but the country invasion, trying to meddle in that seems kind of a dick move.
Yeah. Yes,
oh, it's not. That's not the. Am I misinformed?
Yeah. I think you're watching the wrong show, Kirk.
Oh, damn it. All right.
Well,
you guys want to set me straight?
Look, so everybody knows that Russia has invaded Ukraine. They sent a bunch of troops in. They're trying to take over the capital. There's sanctions being thrown all over the place. And basically, some people say that Russia's trying to take back what they had before the Cold War ended. You know, some people are thinking that it's just Putin being a dick.
Or insane. He's lost his mind. That was another theory.
Yeah, it could be that too. But
a lot of stuff. I actually heard they're doing this to make Biden look weak so they can get Trump reelected because they like, you know what I mean? Like I've heard to that level of conspiracy.
Yeah, it's all over the place. And I only wanted to bring it up just because of how absurd it was. Like, everyone was like, oh, Russia's going to go to war. And, like, it was predicted that last Wednesday they were supposed to go to war, and it never happened. And then all of a sudden they just out of the blue attacked. The reason
I heard they kept hitting snooze is what really happened. No,
the reason why I think it's so funny.
What you're saying is they weren't Russian.
Oh, look out. They were naked and they couldn't Russian dressing to the. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
But it just doesn't. We've talked about war before, and that was why it was kind of odd to me, is that there will be so many like sanctions and just economic penalties that are going to be put on Russia for just invading another country.
Well, and just this, you're a computer guy. What about this theory? It almost seems like this is a brief distraction, because I think if they get lured into, they don't want to get sucked into like we got sucked in for Afghanistan with this, because a country that defends itself, they don't like being invaded, so they'll fight a lot as opposed to the people just coming in. So like, just so like, what do you think about that? It's more of a distraction because they're doing better with cyber warfare, attacking and poisoning our social media and making other people crumble. So this is sort of just a sideshow so they can keep just invading. You know, you think?
I don't think so.
I think that's a little bit more. That's a little. How would I say that? It's kind of far out there, just because.
Yeah,
I feel there's so many other ways that they could mess with people rather than invading a country with military action.
They don't want to lock horns with us. That's, you know what I mean? Nobody wants that. We got a lot of weapons, so the only way to do it is through the computer, it seems, and to aggravate.
So this is why I think it was all weird, because and this is why I think there is an absolute disconnect between like people that were born outside of technology and people that understand technology. Because they did exactly what they did with Crimea to those two other little areas. They said, "Oh, these pro-Russian areas want to succeed, and they want to join Russia, and we're going to send troops in to protect." You know, they were annexing more country, more of the Ukraine, and it was going to turn out the same way it turned out in 2014. More than likely, is that they would have walked in, taken control, and that would have been that. The way Putin was kind of setting it up, it made it feel like it was like from the 50s. He said, "Oh, we're going to be doing some special military training," and then they just launched an invasion.
Right,
it's
and
like
they're de-Naziing the. That was a weird phrase.
Yeah, it seems like they're stuck in, especially you can see it in even our own politicians. They don't realize that information spreads this fast, even though it's been almost 2 decades that we've had the internet full-fledged. And like in my opinion, Putin was trying to put out like a press release like, "Oh, yeah, we're doing special military training." And then they would invade, take over a bunch of shit, and then be like, "We didn't do that." Not realizing that, you know, it was going to be live streamed to the entire world that as it was happening.
Back in the day before the social media and that instantaneous they got it from the newspaper or one source, so you control that source, you control the narrative. So now that it's a different, you can update with your propaganda spiel because it's being live streamed. So it's hard to call. It's easy to call bullshit on something with like, "Oh, that is a lie."
Like even Russia is not happy with what's happening. That's why it feels so strange. Like I fully am behind the theory that he's gone like insane over the last few years, which it wouldn't surprise me. And now he's just like, he's just insane.
He's like a KGB guy. He's a military. He was like, so like, I think if you have that, if you've been Chris, how long have you had your job? How many years?
15.
Okay. Whatever you do for that long, that's your mindset. So if you're in the life, your career is scheming, plotting, everybody's against me, world domination, I got to kill the guy before he kills me. You're a different mindset. The way you scan things is completely different than a healthy person. You know what I mean?
They did take in Edward Snowden though, and I liked what he did. So that's my one only statement on.
It's just
they did it because it hurt us. They knew they're like, this will annoy them. This will annoy the Americans.
Yes, but
that was 90% of
it. We could talk about the Snowden thing, but I just like that he whistleblowed the fact that they were, listening in on. Don't do that.
Listen,
don't do it and then get mad because somebody found out and told us about it. It's like,
well, if you got nothing to hide, what's the problem, man?
Right?
Just play devil's advocate.
No.
With all of the data, it's got to be like it's like the ocean. They can't they can't listen to all of that, really. You know what I mean? It's getting recorded someplace, but nobody's really, right? I mean,
Well, no,
John,
that's what we
there's
talked
too
about
much
this.
data.
Yeah, it's not to mention the fact that there are currently laws in place to try and make it legal for them to do, or they're trying to enact laws in order to make it legal for them to collect data. Like, if they weren't already doing it, why are they trying so hard to get laws passed to make it easier for them to do it? That's what I don't get. And that's where a lot of these, like, oh, they're listening to No, they're not. Because if they were, they wouldn't be trying to pass laws to make it easier for them to record stuff.
But it wasn't that they were listening to everybody. It was that they could. But they weren't telling you that. They weren't saying, "Hey, we're listening to all your conversations if we want to."
Yeah, but if you're planning to blow something up, I think you should be just a little bit listened to.
Yeah, but you could.
And they're already tracking you by what you buy, where you buy, the frequency of it, with the places you go, the map. I mean, they're already tracking you on so many different levels. It just seems like this is, at a certain point. I mean, you could try to fight the system, but it just seems like you're getting crushed by a tidal wave coming at you.
Yeah.
That was you know what? Doing a tidal wave joke for a bunch of guys who are landlocked. Bad. All right. My mistake. You guys are like, what's a wave?
Hey, I do those at the baseball game.
Right. That's the only one I know. If I ain't holding a hot dog and a beer and I'm doing a wave, I don't know what's going on. That's all I like now. Okay. I don't know how you got so southern.
Well, yes, but I'm a little bummed out about the Russia thing myself.
It's a bummer. War is a bad thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah. It isn't benefiting anyone.
No, and it's one of those things, like, it's going to dominate the news for the next however long, and we're going to hear about it over and over and over again. So in the beginning of the show, before the show, I was telling John, let's not linger on that too much. It's kind of depressing.
Yeah. No,
well, just what about, just real quick, what about the theory, like, because war is important, so like this will actually, the news actually has something to report on. It doesn't have to make up nonsense breaking news. So they might actually be newsier. Come on, have a little goddamn hope, John. Come on. Hold, you go every time for any idea. Come on, have a little faith. The news media might do good for a little bit.
As long as it isn't a certain animal-based one.
They don't count. They don't count. They're a different. They don't. They're not the news. They're not. It's propaganda.
I found it funny that they were praising Putin like the day before he declared war, and now they're all.
It's a propaganda channel that doesn't count as news. Watch the other things. The other things will be better.
Okay,
will be not.
I will turn this bus around. This podcast booth in space.
All right. Well, let's talk about. What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the safety of 3D printing.
What happened? Somebody hurt themselves.
I don't know. I'm intrigued because somehow I'm involved in this and I don't know how. So, John, what's up?
So let's I'm going to make it clear. I do have my resin printer going. And the thing about resin is that it is extremely toxic in multiple ways. Now, I am guilty of it too because when I first got the resin printer going and I was making Mandalorian helmets a couple years back, I cheaped out and to try and save as much money as possible, tried to print resin prints hollow. That sucks. I just broke off the gun. That led to the possibility that resin was leaking out of said parts, which is toxic. Then Chris was telling me about his interaction with resin printing.
Leaky out of a leaky extruder is what I heard, which is a sign of a prostate.
You have to extensively post-process resin prints to get the resin off of them and to cure them. None of that was done with Chris. Now,
So
I'm not saying it was
he could have poisoned
necessarily.
himself. Like, is it so
No,
toxic?
it's.
Should you be wearing a mask? Like, is
I
that
mean,
like it's fumes?
it depends, because when I first got my printer, there was a lot of like, oh, you need to have it well ventilated, and which I do agree that it well ventilated helps, only because the resin smells like it smells horrible.
It's not good.
The biggest thing, like if you don't post process well, you can end up like burning, because like even my wife screwed up a while back and got some UV resin on her hand outside, and it just like immediately burned her.
So start like working with like you really like paints, like oils or like gasoline, or just like some acidic, like some. There's going to be some burning if it mishandled.
Yeah,
some chemicals.
Well, I was just surprised that Chris was like, "Oh yeah, no, we didn't do any of that."
I didn't read the instructions. I'm a man. What do you want?
But I mean, that was
he sprinkled it on his breakfast cereal. He's a dumb man. He ate toxins.
When I was looking into like getting started with 3D with the resin printing and looking into getting one for my wife, that was one of the things we looked into, was like how to post process the stuff and all of that.
Well,
like I said, not that because you weren't even looking into resin printing. You just you ended up around one, and then
Can you guys, is there sort of like, I'm picturing like a hot glue gun. Is there ever that situation with the 3D printer? Like if you touch it too fast, or is it cool? Like it doesn't beep until it's like cooled off. Like, how does that work?
Oh no, like 3D printers are ridiculously hot. Like the nozzle itself is 215 degrees Celsius, which is almost 500 degrees Fahrenheit.
So do you ever burn yourself? Is that kind of part of the beginner process? Is you're going to burn yourself?
I have a current burn on my finger from where I burned
I was going to
myself.
say, I think I burnt my finger like when I was getting one of these printers set up earlier this week. Yeah, that's not a problem that goes away, because then the thing is, you get comfortable and you're like, oh yeah, I can reach in and grab that filament before it.
It's like if you like a chef or a cook, you develop burn calluses almost. I mean, you know what I mean? Is that?
Yeah, kind. I mean, it's like have you ever went to reach into the oven and you accidentally touched the side of a pan?
Right.
Yeah, it's like that. You know, you just sometimes you miss and you go, damn, that's hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like I went to my first hockey game and I showed up because I was in Phoenix in shorts and a t-shirt, and like showed up for the hockey game and I'm like, damn, it's cold.
Yes.
Sitting around a big block of ice is chilly. Kind of what I was like, yes, of course it is.
Right. And then then you're just like, well, wait a minute. I'm damn, I should have known that.
I should have figured that one out. It's hot outside, cold inside. Check. All right. This is gonna yay.
The funny thing about this burn on my finger is it wasn't even like the extruder nozzle or anything. It was the bottom of the print bed.
Yeah.
Because like the print bed is heated, Kirk, and you can actually touch the top of the print bed, and it's not too hot. I mean, it's warm, but it's not gonna burn you. Well, the element that makes it that warm is very hot.
Underneath and not protect, so you shouldn't go reaching underneath, is what you're saying. Okay.
Correct.
That's, you know what, that's practical. That's good advice for the new 3D printers out there. Don't reach up underneath. It's not going to go well.
No. And you might get burnt. You know, the cool thing is the prints themselves cool relatively quickly, which is how they function. They have to cool down to harden so that you can put the next layer on top. So you can touch those right after they're done. They're not going to burn you. It's only the...
Well, I mean, even the bed, like my bed usually runs at 60 degrees Celsius, which is 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is still toasty.
It's toasty, but you can put your hand on it. It's not going to hurt you.
I was searching for the Dutch oven joke, but I'll come back to it later.
That's a joke in itself, Kirk.
All right, well then, check. Mission accomplished.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I'm reading the Steve Jobs book. Did you ever read this, John? Steve Jobs biography?
I did not.
I'm like 130 pages in. The only thing that's 130 pages in, the thing that's sticking out is so many stories end with like he gets in an argument or he gets in a debate with somebody and he ends up crying. Like it's crazy. It's really like it's so interesting just because I don't know, it'd be like I don't picture Rockefeller, the oil guy, crying. So it's hard to picture a mogul, but it just seems like he was so passionate about what he was doing. Like he wanted it done his way, so he was just really, I don't know. Do you know anything about Jobs?
I remember hearing that he was a hard person to talk to just because.
Well, they said either you're a shithead or you're a genius. There was no middle ground. But what were you going to say? But that was what takeaway so far.
Yeah, and he was very hardcore about the things that he did. So if you didn't have like a good idea, like don't come to me if it's not a genius idea because I don't want to hear it.
Right. So, but that's the thing of like, does the brusqueness, does the bluntness, is that how you get to the genius? You know what I mean? If he had to be nicer, would Apple not be as good? You know what I mean? There's certain players that are just like athletes, just driven, focused, and Michael Jordan, the Last Dance, he's just a motivated, driven, focused. I don't care about anything else but winning. I'm going to make my teammates better, whether they want to or not, or I'm going to make a living hell. You know what I mean? Like
there's a reason they brought him back after they fired him.
Well, I think there's a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde to everybody who's ever been that successful. You know, you can't be the nice guy and finish first. That's the old saying.
The swagger. Yeah, like the quarterback swagger. Like you better think, I don't know, you got to have that confidence. And it's just, I think his brain just works different. You know what I mean? To create what he did, it had to. No, I don't think a normal person would. There's not 1,000 or 1,000,000 Steve Jobs. There's one. That guy was.
Well, here's my thing with like him and Edison and any of that ilk. They're good marketers.
Yes.
Because like I was talking to someone earlier this week, and that was my thing was Apple really didn't do anything special with the iPhone. Not in the sense of like everything that they did had already been done before.
Well, they said
we just lost half our listeners.
Do you know Wozniak? That was the guy who's the engineer guy who would come up with the stuff. And then apparently, just as I've read so far, Jobs was more of the marketing, convincing people to do it guy. But the Wozniak, I think that was maybe mispronouncing that. He was sort of the guy who actually created a lot of the impressive computer stuff that he then sold to people.
My thing for this, Chris, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the Handspring Trio?
No.
It was the Palm Pilot that I had, or that I think Dad had that he gave to me. It could do everything that the iPhone could, essentially. You just had to plug in stuff to get it to do certain things, like camera, or I think it had a cell phone plug-in you could buy. And that was really late 90s, early 2000. And even when the iPhone came out, like I had a BlackBerry Pearl. And I think a lot of people like the original iPhone couldn't really do that much.
Well, but the thing is leading back to what Kirk was saying, was that it was more of a marketing thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And because what the iPod is what really started everything. You know, because do you remember Zune?
Oh yeah, I love my Zune.
Well, you were like 2 out of 6
I have
billion
no idea. Me and everybody else ever has no idea what Zune is.
Zune was. Again,
it was Microsoft's answer to the iPod, and it flopped like badly.
But it was so good. It was so much better than any iPods at the time.
So here's the thing, though. They marketed the iPod, and people grew an affinity for it. And then still today, there's a lot of people out there who, if you're like, what kind of phone do you have? And they say iPhone. And they're like, what kind of phone do you have? Android. And they're like, oh, you use Android? It's a brand loyalty. They were able to.
It's Coke Pepsi. It's
correct.
I like that.
Here's my thing. It's funny you mentioned this because I was going to talk about this earlier this week. It was one of the topics I wanted to bring up. I actually I unfollowed someone on TikTok who I really liked because of this. And he said the exact same thing. He's like, oh, are you too afraid to use iPhones? What, are you afraid of quality? And I was like, what? I was like, that's not even, like, that's pure Apple just being Apple. Like,
well, he's never picked up the other phone. He doesn't know, but he's just, that's my team. I like you don't like my team, then I don't like you.
And that's just it. The reason this conversation got brought up is because he had to use an Android to record because he had to use his iPhone for a call. And on the thing, he's like, sorry for the quality. This is my wife's Android. And I was like, there's no difference. And he was just in the comments just saying like, oh, there's absolutely a difference. And you can't tell? I'm like, no.
I imagine both of them are fine. You know what I mean? I imagine both billion-dollar corporations have streamlined a decent phone thing, computer, with the jigamadings, right? I mean,
but the same thing can be said for Coke versus Pepsi. I mean, years and years and years, people have fought over Coke versus Pepsi. Well, guess what? It's just what you like. If you like Apple, so be it. If you like Coke, that's cool.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I agree with you. That is absolutely my stance. And this was the stance of pretty much everyone back when the Android versus iPhone shit died in or at least the massive online arguments died back like a decade ago. The fact that someone was like adamantly like, oh, so you don't like quality. I'm like, iPhones are not quality. Like, there are people that have 4-year-old Galaxies that perform just as well as 4-year-old iPhones. Like, there's
Wait, does it tell you your screen time? Does it do that?
Yeah.
Do you want to, because like I have an iPad and I've got it down to, I have 30 minutes is my average. And then like my phone, like, you want to tell your average screen time on your phone? Do you know?
I have to look.
I'm guessing it's a lot.
From all the texting and the podcasting and the thing. That should be like on your next job application.
Okay, what
is your average screen time?
Mine's skewed because it's 6.5 hours.
On your phone?
Yeah, since my last full charge, which I think it's counting from this morning. But I usually leave my phone on when I was making some videos for TikTok, and I would leave my phone on, and I think it sat on my counter with the camera app open for like half an hour while I was doing something else.
Chris, back me up? This seems like the justifications of an addict. Can I just say that? Come on.
Well, most people are addicted to their phone, Kirk. I'm not.
No, yeah, 6 hours. That's people are constantly texting and checking and blah blah blah. Like, it's just become a part. It's on your hip. You're a junkie.
That's just the screen being on. Like, if anything, I was pretty much only on TikTok today, and it was only 3 hours and 43 minutes. But again, that was also like, there was 1 or 2 times where I left the camera open and just left my phone.
That seems like a lot of TikTok time.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Kirk,
I'm not a TikToker, so I can't. Yeah, I'm a bad judge.
And people like you and me, I don't spend as much time on my phone, but you still use pen and paper for a lot of the things that you do. Most people don't. Most people type it on their phone, or they do this and that, and so I can't really judge people for it because I do stay on my phone more than probably I should, but I can't judge.
That's true. And you know what? And I throw off the curve because I'm so low tech. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm the outlier. So I'm sort of in the old man curmudgeon of I don't get it. So I'll try not to attack it. But it's just like I don't get it.
See, my problem is like certain apps don't shut off when you're not using your phone. Like I think I was at like 50% my phone was almost dead by 3:00 and I woke up at 9.
Right. Well, but isn't it like the app's whole goal is to keep you on their thing. So don't you feel at some point you're getting manipulated by a machine?
No.
Do you ever that thought?
Well, I mean, if you look at TikTok as a app and a platform, obviously that's the design. That's why videos are short. That's why shorter videos do better than 3-minute videos.
Right. Keep scrolling through, keep flipping, click on this. It's only 40 seconds. It's not the end of the world.
If Vine hadn't done whatever the hell it did to collapse, it would still be around and probably be the most popular app ever. But they just
doesn't know what that is.
I mean, you know what? It's like there's like a needle in a haystack, but it just seems like it's a barrage of subpar artists performing subpar things that isn't that great. You know what I mean? It's like
TikTok or just in general.
Well, it just it's like you just got a bunch of like the we talked about last week, the gold rush aspect. It's a bunch of people who are doing whatever they can to try to hit a thing to be famous, so they can make money. Just because it just seems
we're mildly
desperate.
TikTok famous, Kirk.
What do you
got to say about that?
We're not even mildly TikTok famous.
How many billion people are we up to? Are we up to 8 billion people yet? Have we hit that?
By 8 billion, you mean 2,000?
No, on Earth.
Oh, on Earth. I don't know if we've ever hit 8 billion.
Yeah, I think we're still in like the 7s. Yeah.
Well, what? Okay, so out of 7, 40,000 watching something means nothing. You know what I mean? Like in the grand scheme of things.
Hey, we hit 550 on one. Just saying.
Ooh.
That's 10 times 40, plus some.
And I've never listened to it because I remember what we're talking about, and it was good. I don't know why they picked that one of all the funny, the accidental in the moment jokes or the jokes I thought of, and with that one, like, screw you guys. I'm done with it.
I just want to point out, because we've talked about this. Like, I am probably the worst person to be running our social media stuff because I hate people, and
we've deducted that.
Yeah. I thought it would be fun back it was a couple weeks ago. I wanted to kind of split off of our main TikTok because the 3D printing stuff really wasn't doing, super well on
So you're saying superficial TikTok was rejecting nerdy 3D printing?
No, so Here's something that people don't, or at least I noticed on TikTok. There was a really funny dude who made a joke about Jesus on the crucifix, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. So I liked it, followed him, and I didn't see any of his stuff. And then he made another joke about Jesus because people were giving him shit about the first one. So I liked that one, and then I got to thinking, I'm like, why was it like? Because it was like this. He's very distinct, and I went back and I was like, well, why did it? Was it like 4 weeks since the last time I saw anything that he posted? I looked at his channel, and he posts every day, like a couple times every day, but it's certain things that he posts, and I was only seeing the ones where he was making jokes because that's how the algorithm works. Is if like people like
the stuff that pisses you off, the more offensive he could do would get. Is that what you're saying?
No. So because I liked the jokes he was making, because a lot of his stuff was like retro gaming, and I didn't interact with that. I only interacted with his jokes. So TikTok was only showing me his jokes and not his other stuff. Same thing that happens with our channel. Our channel is getting popular, but the people that are liking it and the video that went popular was a video game. So TikTok
Space engineers.
Yeah, so TikTok isn't going to necessarily show that our core group of followers anything but space engineers. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to move the 3D printing stuff to my own personal channel, and I'll start making videos on that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because from the start of the podcast, which was 40 minutes ago, to now, I have gotten, I think when I looked, it was 30 notifications from my personal account. I think I got almost 300 likes on one video that I did this morning. So, once again, a video is exploding on my channel, and...
All right.
So
Jake.
what he's saying is he's got anxiety right now.
Yes, just like... The fact that
J-Lo. We're calling him J-Lo from now on, all right? This is John No More. He's J-Lo.
Yeah, so in 2 minutes, 14 people liked my one video, to give you context of...
Holy hell. And 14 people have never liked you.
And
that's the amazing part.
Dang it,
You're
Kirk,
not
you beat me
wrong.
to the punchline.
Did I cut you off? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say it. And
like I'm
I was
getting
going to say that's 13 more people than have ever liked you.
That's
Yeah.
good too. Yeah,
that's
works.
absolutely accurate.
Oh, well, it's no fun if you agree to it.
Yeah, that's no.
But I just find it funny that, like, and it wasn't like there wasn't a vote. It wasn't like, oh, I was just like, I'll do the social media. I think Chris started the Twitter and then got pissed off and left it. But
Twitter sucks.
yeah, I was just like, oh, I'll handle this. Shouldn't be too hard. And
Yes.
ah.
You guys would be great if there was an anti-social media. You guys would be perfect. You guys would nail it, lock it. But social media, not your forte.
No. Like I said, I'll tell one funny story from, not so much funny, but well, I'm very frank when I say that I don't like people. Like, if I could be, if I could work by myself, obviously I like talking, and I'm not going to say no to having help and all of that other stuff, but we had students that came through, and they were just incessant on bugging me, and I was like, listen, it's like, I don't like people. It's like,
You were bothered by their inquiring.
No, I think they asked. They're like, well, why don't you ever talk to us? And I'm like, that's because I don't like people. And they took it as like I'm going to fix you moment. And I was like, oh God, no.
Oh, they tried to self-help you? That's it. Oh,
because
let's talk about that. How do you feel?
It's been 2 years. Every single time I see them.
You brought it on yourself, John. That's
I'm aware. I'm aware. I just, yeah.
You should have used that as an opportunity to sell a shitload of your 3D printed X-May markers and left it at that.
Oh,
so are you more of just a like if, at work? If I walk by you, you're a nodder. Do you at least nod? But you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
I've gotten very good at being social when I need to. So I talk to people, like normal human people do. I interact. It's just
like normal human people do.
Kirk, I think that was his slip up. He is a robot. We knew it.
Like normal. Look, I've seen normal people, and I'm acting as such.
I mean,
So
I'll claim to be a raccoon,
code,
but
how's your day? 0011001. All right. I mean, good. That's what I meant. But
is that human pizza? I mean, pizza. Let's go get some.
Right, because I'm a human too, as are you. All right.
You know,
All right, guys. So look, no, John, I'm cutting you off because I titled this episode 50.
Oh, yeah.
Don't throw glass balls at the moon.
All right. What is this about?
We've been talking all over the place, and we're missing the point that they found. Wait for it, glass balls on the moon. And you might be thinking, what kind of glass balls?
These tiny glass balls.
And John brought it up. Look, that is a ball of glass on the moon. We're going to say it's not photoshopped. It is a picture that the Chinese rover took of a glass ball.
So it's not a snowball you'd get at the airport, like a souvenir. It's not that.
It's probably, I mean, if it was, it would probably be of Neil Armstrong mooning you, but
Could be.
that's my guess.
That would be pricey. I'd do that. Mooning somebody on the moon, classic. But anyway.
I'll show you the dark side of the Earth.
Oh, look out. That's not a crater. Oh, all right.
Anyway, so from what I could understand, these are real. And it's not the first time that they've actually found these on the moon. And this one was particularly fascinating to scientists because it was on the dark side of the moon, not the light side. But I tried to stay away from conspiracy theory on this stuff and just read the facts. And I think it's either a Mars. Jesus.
You're bad as me.
I'm always mixing Mars and the moon. It's because they start with M. It's from a meteor impact. Yeah. Comet. Something crashed into the lunar surface, and it is a product of heat from the impact.
So that's where the glass balls are.
Yeah, they're saying it's like just the product of the impact from the heat and the lunar surface.
Right. Well, and you guys, like, the moon is dead. Like you said, nothing's happened on the moon anyway. So it just seems like it would get kind of pelted with stuff kind of on a regular basis. So, I mean, it seems like a common occurrence. And like, are we just paying attention more? Do we have more technology so we can see it?
Well, there was something I'm trying to remember the quote, but in the universe, things tend to want to become spheres. Just because that's like in physics, like a circle is the
somehow pleasing, aerodynamic.
Well, not pleasing, but it's the simplest form is sphere. That's why all the planets are spheres. It's how it's how things have worked themselves out in the universe.
Well, it makes the most sense, right? Because there's no sides, there's no angles, it's just...
So I can definitely see like an impact causing, silicate to spin fast enough that it turns into a sphere, cools down, and then
they said that they noticed the same types of things on impact, or not impacts, but volcanoes here on Earth, which is why they're assuming it's from some sort of heat-related impact.
Wow. Well, I heard the crazy thing about volcanoes is that the majority of them are actually underwater, so we don't really know.
That is correct.
Is that? Yeah. See, that's a little trivia for you.
In fact, the biggest one that exploded was the one that was that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Can you imagine being the guy who's just like learning how to like paddleboard? Like, look, I'm doing it, and then all of a sudden a volcano erupts from underneath you, and just damn it.
Well, because we talked about that. Was it Tonga where they had that giant tsunami because of the. And I believe Fukushima that was just an earthquake, right?
I think that was just an earthquake.
Okay.
One of the worst part, the amount of sand castles that were awesome that were destroyed, devastating. Devastating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's still kind of interesting though, because if you were the layman who, like, if I was on the moon and I saw a glass ball sitting on the moon, I'd be like, something's here. Somebody left a glass ball.
You look for lost and found? Are you a good person? Or did you just swipe it? Answer the question, like cross-examination. Your Honor, clearly this man
I
went
plead
to the
the
moon.
fifth.
I was gonna say,
Stole a glass ball on the moon. You got to acquit. What? No, that didn't rhyme.
Well, I guess the other thing that these particular ones actually seemed translucent, which apparently was something that was differing to the ones that they brought back from Apollo 6. I guess Apollo 16 mission actually brought some back to Earth, which is why it wasn't a bigger deal, because NASA was already essentially like, yeah, we've seen them.
well, and like I mean, if you get stuff hot enough, throw it around in a vacuum, it's gonna, and get some momentum to it, it's gonna spin around, and sphere is gonna be the more likely. In fact, that happens in that's how they make shotgun pellets. Have you seen those videos? Those are fascinating.
No, I haven't seen that, but it was an interesting enough story for me, just because if you really want to take it down some conspiracy theory roads, you totally can.
If you want to go batshit crazy, you can run amok. You can just go all crazy.
It's alien baseball on the moon. That's my theory.
It seems like a big canvas. It seems
It was a foul ball that got missed. They just didn't pick it up. You know how that goes.
I mean, if that were the case, those aliens would be like 2 inches tall. Something like that. Because that picture was, I think they were measuring those at like half a millimeter or half a centimeter.
Well, yes, and that's cool. I didn't say it was a good theory. I just
it was
said
a theory nonetheless. All right, yeah. Look, you throw out the theories, some of them stick. It's all right.
I'm pretty sure if I started broadcasting that over the internet, it could gain some traction.
There'll be several other crazy people who will like, yes, you're correct. Some mustachioed men who smell terrible will go harumph.
As long as it's not cricket on the moon, because I still don't understand that game.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't think you're supposed to.
Cricket is pure chaos. And you can hit the ball backwards. It still counts. I don't get it. I was talking about that with the Kiwi that we had on a few weeks ago, and
I would love for you to have a baseball. That would be hilarious. A baseball cricket debate. Would you? It ain't right. It is right. No. Right? Is that what happened?
Well, no. It was just me saying like that game is insane. I've watched it and I still don't understand it. Like, and he said that one of the funny things that he likes is that in American baseball, you get hit by the ball and you take a base.
Mm-hmm.
In cricket, if you get hit by the ball, it doesn't do anything. So.
Well, I think Australians and New Zealand, they might be a little tougher. I know what, I don't want to bag on America, but they seem like tough sons of bitches.
Yeah, rugby, cricket.
Rugby is a violent game, and there's a lot of poisonous stuff down there. I think Australia hardens you. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah,
that's fair.
Like Futurama, John, if you remember the game Blurns Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's some games where, look, and I say this in jest, if I sat down and learned the rules to cricket, I know I could figure it out, but it's confusing.
So you're not gonna. You're gonna.
No, I'm American.
Right. I'm not gonna learn. Like, the only cricket I know is Jiminy, okay? And he sings to me in a Walt Disney movie, I'm an American. Eat a deep fried apple pie. And then a steak.
With American cheese on top.
Oh. What? I've never done that. It's chemicals and plastic.
Sure.
Just try it. It's good. You don't even know.
All right, if you bring me, I will try it. But I'm not gonna go out and seek it. But I will try.
Okay, I will bring you apple pie with American cheese, and we'll put it in the microwave, melt it down a little bit, and you'll be like, "Okay, it's good."
All right. Hey, you know what? Go ahead. You know what? I will. If it's if it's good, I will admit it. I guarantee.
And what I'll do is only put cheese on half. So if you hate it, worst case scenario, you still have half an apple pie, and you'll be happy. So,
I'm a fan of. All right. Well, enough about cheese. How about Kirk's Corner? Okay, right. What a segue.
Speaking of cheese,
let's
go to Kirk's Corner.
That's a stupid thing.
Is there an extra flying that's like is that a space?
Whoa, they got closer, and we have a pizza. Look out the window, Kirk.
I can't, like, it's so small, I can't see what it is. It looks yellow. There's 2 Frisbees.
Oh, my computer's, so...
There's the spaceship.
It's supposed to be more of a heart-shaped pizza.
Okay. And then what are the rings outside? The onion rings?
So it's a spaceship that was in the background, and now it's up at the window with a flying goose in space.
Okay, so the goose is checking us out. It's like, hey, what's going on in Kirk's Corner?
I don't know why you brought the goose back. I don't like it.
They're coupling up, so little baby geese are coming soon, which was annoying because they're stupid. Baby geese are extra dumb.
And the parents are like overly protective of them.
Oh, they hiss at you, and then like if the baby gets on like the wrong side of the chain link fence and can't figure out how, like you got out of the chain link fence. There's got to be a way back. I'm walking by you, yes, but I have no, like, stop hissing at me, parents. Shut up, you know.
And it looks like John's got a bucket underneath the table. I'm not sure what that's about.
Oh, no, that's just the champagne. I was lazy and just put it under the table instead of deleting it, which actually isn't lazy. It's more work.
That's true. That is, yeah. You could have just deleted it, but you moved. Okay. Why are you guys this? You know what? It's just another comedian's dozen. So are you guys ready for, is that time
Bring
to
it
show
on.
for 12
Go
jokes?
for it.
Your list. All right. So here we go. Here's something. The human population is out of control when deer start picking us off. Have you ever thought about that?
I distinctly remember it was like Far Side had a comic like that.
Oh, did it? Oh, I loved. All right, if I'm in the ballpark of him, awesome. How about this? 75% of the Earth is covered by Billy Ocean. All right. Caribbean Queen. That guy was awesome.
Yes.
You guys remember that? Okay. So
Malibu.
Anyway. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sing the whole Billy Ocean catalog. Right. So I don't know if this is a Colorado thing, but okay. So the street sign, no right turn when pedestrians present. That translates to don't run people over. You know what I mean? Like that's. Yes. Do you guys understand? No.
Should probably submit that to CDOT. Could you change those signs? Don't run people over.
Don't run. If there's somebody in the crosswalk, don't run. Don't gun it. Just let them pass. Let them take 2 extra steps. Come on, people. All right. And what about this? I don't want to get too political, but most goldfish are orange. All right. Can I just say that? What's up with that? All right. Here's another. You guys are married guys. Hell has no fury like forgetting a woman's McFlurry. Okay. All right. Come on for the fast food people in the house. Old school. Okay. Play along. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
Because it lived on a cage-free farm. They run amok. They cross the road whenever they damn well please. So let's stop asking. The bigger question is, why are we so focused on what poultry does anyway? What's the next one? Okay, you know what? Cyclops. There's a Cyclops. The Cyclops had multiple iPhones. Hashtag what? All right, he had one eye. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? Slipping on banana bread is not funny. It isn't. All right. If you're a dumb thief, you think the Pittsburgh Steelers are your team.
Huh.
They don't get it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. 2 more. She wasn't a great wife, more of a midwife. Hashtag neck tag tug. Yee. All right.
Oh.
And the last one, ogre orgies. Fun to say, but not to attend. Those were the jokes. Okay, so now we're
Death
to the
by
list.
snoo.
That was Amazonians, not ogres.
Close enough.
They were green. They were big. What? Yeah, same thing. All right. So how about this? So this coming this fall on CBS. You know the CSI series. These are CSI spinoffs. So coming this fall on CBS, we have CSI pillowcases. Hashtag please stop. We have CSI flower vases. Hashtag that's quite enough. And then we have CSI RC races. Hashtag now that I'd watch. Hashtag when is that on? Okay, so that's the fall CBS lineup. The other one is you have daughters. Did they ever have a Barbie? John, did you ever?
Of course.
So Barbie popular. These are the least popular Barbie dolls. These are the Barbie dolls that did not sell well. So your daughters probably don't have Barfly Barbie. That was not. They didn't. Opioid addict Barbie was not. Amazon driver Barbie. Wasn't the kids didn't. That was not fun to play with. Pregnancy scare Barbie. That was more scary. Constantly sharding Barbie. It didn't test well with the audience. Transitioning to Ken Barbie did not. It's a little ahead of its time. Living in her car Barbie. That was just depressing. And menopausal Barbie. That was not. Nobody liked. Unpleasant. Okay, so there's that.
Kirk, I want you to know I shook my head through that whole list.
It was a good rhythm there. It was bam, bam, bam. Those are bad.
It was a good list, but it made me It
was bad Barbies.
Yeah, those are
Those are horrible. Thank God those Barbies were never made.
Yeah, you know that's like the pitch meeting at Hasbro, Mattel, whoever makes Barbie. Guys, what do you think about postmenopausal Barbie? No.
Come on. Constantly sharding Barbie? Come on. There's something. Why would you make that doll? That is a horrible. It's just unpleasant all around. She may be going to medical school, but she's constantly sharding. It's going to be all right. We can always leave Kirk's corner if you guys are uncomfortable.
Not uncomfortable. I feel like we could have had a pretty good run.
Okay. That door needs to be oiled for sure.
Well, speaking of oil, I'm going to go first with my off topic this week. And it relates to oil in a kind of a stretchy way. But so I was driving home tonight and I saw a McDonald's that was painted completely different. And it blew my mind. It was brown and yellow.
Brown and yellow. Wait, that was their old school colors.
Nah, but it was brown and yellow in a really weird modern way. It was unsettling. When you get used to something being one way and then they switch it, I didn't like it.
You're Mr. Anti-Change.
That doesn't surprise me one bit, though.
Yeah, well, why can't people just keep things the way they are? I like it that way. Anyway, that was my off topic. It was stupid, but it was fresh on my mind. Figured that's one I would use.
Well, I mean, mine is equally as stupid. So last weekend,
you guys are really good salesmen, by the way.
Well,
Please keep listening. Here's something that's really stupid. Any hoodly doodle, blah, 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 blah,
Well,
blah.
Kirk's about to talk. Something really stupid's about to. Never mind.
Oh.
John, continue.
Well, so I made a giant statue of a Animal Crossing character with a shotgun. And the only reason I did that is because my daughter wants to make an Animal Crossing diorama types thing for her desk. And her favorite character is this one called Isabel. You cannot find a 3D print of Isabel without some sort of gun or shotgun or something. And I find that extremely weird. Hilarious, but weird. That was all.
I have no comment.
All right. Well, how about this? There's a man in Canada. He ran it's called the Sunday Hypothermic Half Marathon, 13.5 miles. This man ran a marathon in snow and ice. He attempted to set the record for running a half marathon with the most amount of t-shirts. Would you guys want to guess? The old record was set in 2019. Would you like to guess the most amount of t-shirts while running a marathon?
5,000. I'm kidding.
Oh wait, no. So this is the amount of t-shirts that he was wearing whilst running the marathon.
Whilst running a half marathon in he was in Canada in snow and ice. How many t-shirts?
It's got to be like
I'm going to
45.
say I'm going to say 14.
Wow. It was actually the world record. The one he set, he was wearing 90. Like I saw the video clip. He was like puffed up like the Michelin man. Like he goes, I had to stop because like one of my arms was tingling because I couldn't. That was the marathon, the running in the feet and the legs, but my arm was falling asleep because I couldn't move.
Yeah, 90 shirts. Like if I wear 3 shirts, I'm uncomfortable.
Right. And just imagine the stink. Seriously, you're wearing 90 shirts and you run a half. How?
It can't be worse, right, Kirk? I mean,
I don't know. And you know what? all 90 shirts actually read FBI agent, federal breast inspector. All of them. I thought that was a class move.
Did he have a Fuzed Relativity t-shirt on?
That was number 34. So it was kind of hidden. It wasn't really.
Hey, we made the top 40, so
wasn't bad.
What can we say?
But no, so how many so 3, you say 3 shirts, you how many shirts do you think you could put on and still move? John, what do you think? They're all black, I assume. Every shirt you'd put on would be black, yes?
That's half my stuff, yes.
The other half is dark gray. Okay.
You know, you say this. I have to be selective because I wear scrubs, and my scrubs have to the t-shirt I wear has to either be black, gray, or white, and I don't like white. So most of my wardrobe is black and gray.
Which is amazing because it probably washes out your skin.
Yeah, and I should be a psychic. That was amazing.
I'd probably say 15.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, like, thinking about putting on 4 shirts makes me uncomfortable. So I'm just guessing that 90 would be.
Yeah, you should. I'll send you. But literally, the guy. It's like he's almost in a body cast up from his waist. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to.
Well, and just in fairness, here in Colorado, we had a cold snap over the last week.
Damn, it's been cold.
And it was brutally cold, like single digits. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were just all single digits, and
feels like negative 15. That's the level.
Yeah, and so for my job, I wore 1, 2, 4 shirts, and it sucked. I didn't like it.
Well, change. You're not. See, once again, I hope you never become homeless because you hate change. So you'd be terrible at it.
Give me. You got any change? No. Get out of here.
Yeah, I have change. Well, keep it to yourself, mister. I get it. I don't to your gibber. And then you run off.
Hopefully with that exact laugh.
Better be. Nah, yeah. All right.
But yes, I figured I would throw that out there because I was very, very tired of the cold. It's supposed to be very nice next week, and I cannot wait because it was frigid. I work outside. Sometimes it sucks. And when it's cold, single digits, it sucks.
I can only imagine you prefer like spring and fall only.
Yes.
Well, honestly, like summertime, because the spring is wonderful, of course, and the fall's good too. But summertime, I would always rather be in the 90-degree weather versus the 32 or below, because it sucks to be in the heat, but you can always drink water and keep yourself hydrated. And yeah, you're hot, but it's easier to deal with than just being bone-chilling cold all day.
Right. And it never, 90s up here, like it doesn't get, like 115 in Phoenix or Vegas or something like that. That's different. But, 90, it's tolerable. Like you said, if you hydrate, just adjust to it.
Yeah, you keep hydrated. I mean, in the summertime, I drink like 2 gallons of water a day, and I'm just fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Granted, you're sweating the whole day and it sucks, but you're not cold. Cold does something different to you. When my feet get cold, I turn into a giant baby. I just start crying.
It bums you out. But I think a lot of our listeners are amazed at the amount of moisture that it takes to be a female impersonator. They who knew? But thank you for if you're getting in the female impersonator game, just hydrate, is what Chris is saying.
All I can say, Kirk, I'm reminded of she works hard for the money.
Yep.
Gotta stay hydrated. And I think we should end the show on that.
That seems like a good note to end on. Yes, hydration, people, and work hard for the money.
So episode 50, we're in the books. It took us a while to get to glass balls at the moon. We got there. There is a rocket still slated to crash land into the moon. It's a Chinese rocket, not a SpaceX rocket.
It might potentially happen during the podcast.
I knew it was close. I was hoping it would hit 4, but it didn't. So what do you do? I mean, can't control rockets in space. Otherwise, it wouldn't crash into the moon. But Kirk, just so we'll keep talking about it up to the next one. This is officially Kirk's 2 weeks notice. Not the first one you've put in.
No, yeah, many times. So always like to give a heads up when I leave. And you know what? I did this one topless. So I was trying to get some ratings. I think we'd really see a spike, right? That sells.
Sure. Let's go with that.
You guys could be more supportive. You're not, saying you're kind of.
That makes me supportive, shirtless. You're talking about bras. It got weird, Kirk.
So
anyway.
You guys.
Yeah, so it's officially Kirk's 2 weeks notice. He will be done after episode 52, but hey, that'll be a year in. We appreciate everything that he has done for the show. Me and John will continue on. And
I have a bra joke. Would you like a bra joke?
Go for it.
I was talking to my friend Jessica. She told me she spent $30 on a bra, and I was like, "Well, let me see it." And she was all like, "No." And but I was trying to be sensitive, and I was like, "It's not the bra that matters; it's what's inside that really." So it's just spending $30 on a bra. It's like spending $30 on wrapping paper. because they're both going to get thrown away and 7 sides are going to get played with. So why bother? Okay.
Nice.
There's the broad joke.
Broad joke of the day. So everybody who hung with us until the end of the show, they got to hear that. It was a good joke. I liked it.
Yeah, that was way back. That was from the Wayback Machine.
So anyway, well, we'll just keep, talking about that because we'll miss him. We'll miss Kirk on the show, but you know what? Kirk's got things to do. So
that's
it is what it is.
That's the thing. Like, me and Chris are married. Kirk's not. He picks.
I
was like, me and you are married. What?
I got to go socialize with other people other than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Friday night is not exactly the ideal time to have a podcast.
It was great during a pandemic when nobody was going anywhere. Things were locked down, but I'm like, but yeah. So
hey, we don't hold it against you, Kirk. It's not a
right. Thank you, and it was a fun year. You know what? And like I said, and seriously, if you want to edit a highlight package, I'm just not against it. You're not busy enough.
We will see what we can do, Kirk. But that wraps up episode 50. Don't throw glass balls at the moon.
Sure.
Yeah. Good words to live by. Hopefully Russia resolves itself pretty quickly. We don't want to have to keep talking about that.
No.
And we will, I'm hoping, get back on Space Engineers tomorrow. John, we'll talk about that.
Space Engineers or something else.
Yeah, or something else. That's fine too.
Right. Well, shoot me a text. Let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Kirk. We'll get back on it. We've been off for the last couple of weeks. Just we got lost. Let's just say that.
Slacking. You didn't keep your eye on the ball. Let's regroup. Let's focus up, everybody, and let's be in it to win it. All right. I'm a Southern football coach. I'm wearing a headset. Come on. All right. Right?
Yeah. Words to live by. We're going to end on that. Everybody, thank you all for listening. For John, Chris, and Kirk, hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Look forward to seeing you on episode 51. Same time, same place. Until then, go boldly, friends.